Hello gardening friends, it is October and time for our October garden tour. So let's get down to the garden and get to it. To the garden, usually I show you my view of the whole garden, but you can't see my whole garden anymore because this fig tree has grown up like crazy this year. I had that cut down to like 4 feet. It's just taken off. My beautiful wall of tomatoes are no more. So I gotta pull those down. Let's look at these figs, see if there's any figs on here that are ready to eat. The figs are one thing that does not like this cooler weather, and they don't like the moisture that we've been having. So my figs have been splitting open. So this fig tree has a lot of figs on it. The question is whether we're gonna have enough warm weather for them to mature. Might be one over here. It looks like it's close to being mature. Oh yeah, that one is. You can see it's drooped down and it's softer. So let me pick that one. We'll take a look at it. Now when it has that latex coming out of the top, that's not a good sign. That means it's not 100% ripe. Here, I took that latex off. Look at that. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Nice and juicy in there, isn't it? Yes, it looks good. It is good. That was not too bad. That's one that I really don't know what the species is on that one. Here's one that I believe is a yellow Lebanese. It also has some figs on it. I have gotten a few off of these too, but again, it's not liking the cooler, wet weather. In fact, a lot of these split open. There might be one over here. Oh yeah, look at that one. Again, it's sagged down and it's soft. Sometimes you can see the bottom of them start popping open too. This one didn't split, so that's good. Let's see what this one looks like. That one actually, even though it looks ripe, it's not really ripe. It looks pretty nasty in there, and it doesn't taste good either. So we'll have to wait and get one at a later date. Like I said, we are running out of time for these. My Tromboncino Squash, which I just noticed over here, well, it's actually going all over the place. See this vine here? That's the Tromboncino Squash. And it's going up here, went up this tomato trellis, and it made a squash. There's one there. It looks like a snake in there, and it didn't have, or it barely has, the bulb started on the bottom. That looks like it's almost like, yeah, it is sort of rotten. But the rest of the squash would still be usable. That squash is like, I'll show you where it starts, way over there. You see that one down on the bottom there on the ground? That's where the vine starts. And this this vine is going all over the garden. This is a yellow long neck fig right here that I don't really see. I don't see any ripe ones on here right now either. Hopefully get some warm weather this month and we'll get some ripe fruit. Here's my goji berry bush. Look at all the goji berries on there. But they're small and they aren't very tasty. I'm gonna give this thing one more try maybe. I'm not sure if it's the species or what, but the berries don't get big and they don't taste very good. They don't taste good at all. Someone else was saying their goji berries really don't taste good. It's supposed to be such a wonderful superfood, but I haven't been impressed with this species. If anyone knows of a species that is good, leave a comment down in the comments below, below the description, and I would love to know if there's a better goji berry. This is a black bean that I have growing up this trellis here. Black coat is, I believe, the variety. And I'm just gonna let these beans get big and let the beans get hard so I can plant more. Here's the bloom for that bean. It's got a nice pretty bloom. Here's what these Tromboncino squash look like when you let them grow into a winter squash. They get the hard coat on them. They almost look like a pumpkin then, and they'll store for a long time so you can eat them through the winter. That's one thing that's nice about the Tromboncino squash. There's another one that I didn't harvest, so it's gonna be like a winter squash. You can see what I was talking about being a messy overgrown mess down here. Here is my ginger. Some ginger down here, overgrown. And I'm pretty sure this is turmeric or turmeric. So I don't have a whole lot growing of either of those, but I got a little bit down here, so that'll be fun to harvest before the weather turns too cold. Okay, let me walk back out of this jungle and around to the other side. There's some zinnias. Here is my one tomato plant that I've been telling you for months is my favorite, the Mountain Rouge. And it actually has some tomatoes still growing on it. So aside from being my favorite tasting, it still has blooms on it and still has tomatoes growing. So I'm definitely going to be planting that one next year. That one would even ripen. Probably should pick it soon and take it in the house, put it on the counter to ripen. Okay, here are some Jerusalem artichokes. I love the Jerusalem artichoke flowers. The plants really take off. They go up like 10, 12 feet high. I've been chopping them down and feeding them to my rabbits. Here's another fig bush. This is JH Adriatic. And here's one that I'll show you is what they've been doing with this wet weather. They've been bursting open and just rotting. Let me smell this one. Oh yeah, that one smells terrible. So yeah, I'm not even gonna try taking a bite of that one. Well, maybe I'll try a little bite. Yeah, I mean, I took a bite at the top there and I got a nice little taste, but I'm not gonna go too far down there because it looks nasty and smells nasty. Let's try this fig on our JH Adriatic. Looks like it's a little bit ripe, but sagging down. Does have some of that latex. So we'll get rid of that. Yeah, that one is definitely nice and juicy. It's not perfectly ripe, but it's pretty good. Yummy, yummy. Look at this lemongrass. This is my best lemongrass this year. It's probably 4 feet tall. And I'm thinking of pulling some of that up and making some soap. But it's a nice thing to boil in the house to make a nice smell for the house too. It really does smell lemony. Okay, here's my square foot beds. So I have some tomato growing and the radishes that I just planted. I'm planning to start some more cool weather crops in my square foot beds. So stay tuned and make sure that you are subscribed. Click that bell so you get notified and don't miss anything. All right, here is my corn. A lot of it has fallen over. I didn't really harvest any, but like I said last month, I can let it get hard and I can take it in and make parched corn from the sweet corn. Yeah, see, that has some good, nice, dried out kernels in there. And I can make some parched corn with that. I'm thinking about pulling all my corn stalks out and making a little stalk for decoration at the road too. And this is hoppy blue corn. Let's see what that looks like. Yep, definitely looks like hoppy blue corn. Look at that. And that you pretty much let dry, and you can grind it to make cornmeal, cornbread, whatever you want to do with that. So now that I opened that, I'm going to have to harvest that, or the birds and squirrels will come and eat it. Here's some dahlias. Here is some red malabar spinach going up this little piece of rebar I had here. Here is one of my moringa trees. This is the one I planted the earliest, and it's just now starting to catch up with the ones that were planted later. Okay, here's how I eat it. I just take a branch of it like this. It's nice and wet this morning. And I just put the whole thing in my mouth and then strip it out. I mean, it doesn't really taste good, but it doesn't taste bad. It's not that bad. I gave a little branch like that to my wife the other day, and I told her moringa really doesn't have much taste. And she knows it's really good for her because we take it in the powder form. She has some pills that have it in the powder. And so she took a bite and spit it out. She said, that is nasty. So, I don't know. I think she exaggerates a little bit. Here's another moringa. This one's a lot taller. This one's probably 7, maybe 8, probably about 7 feet. So that one's doing pretty good. Here's my asparagus. The tops of it grow and put some energy into growing the roots so that it'll be ready for next year's crop. Here's a pepper. I think this is a Coro de Toro, which is a sweet pepper, but it seems like it's crossed a little bit with my hot peppers because it seems like it's a little bit warm. Not very much though. Oh look, there's a raspberry. I didn't know I had any raspberries out here. That's pretty good. Here's a pepper that's fallen down. I should be restaking that up. This is a bell, California Wonder bell pepper. So that's a nice sweet pepper. I also have some okra out here. There's a lot of blooms still coming and a lot of okra plants. I think I just ate most of them the other day when I was out here. So there's not any that have a very big fruit on them right now. Here's some more pepper plants. My pepper plants really start coming about this time of year when it gets cooler. They start really producing. This is a Spanish mammoth that I got from Baker Creek. And that has a lot of peppers coming. I do have a little bit of kale here. It's like the dinosaur kale. We love our kale, right? Pretty good. Here is my Egyptian spinach. And I just noticed, this is the first time I noticed that it's making seed pods now. I only had one plant make it this year, so I'm gonna make sure that I let these seed pods mature so that we'll be ready to have some fresh seeds for next year. I think my seeds were just too many years old, probably. They didn't sprout very well. Now this plant really does taste like nothing. I'll have to give some to my wife and see if she can be the judge of that for me. Here's some sugar peas, or snow peas, whatever. They're going up this trellis on the back side here so that they're out of the full sun. And they seem like they're doing pretty well. Here is an area that I planted with some cover crop. I'm gonna cut this cover crop down. Gonna let it mulch into the soil. It'll be like a composting cover crop. And then if I get some wood chips, I'll put some wood chips on top of here too after I cut it down. And that'll give the soil a lot of good nutrients, a lot of nitrogen. My soil seems like it lacks nitrogen a lot. Look at that little fuzzy caterpillar, whatever. it looks like one of those woolly caterpillars that are usually black and brown. So I don't know if it's just one of those that's not that mature yet or what. I do have a row of some radishes growing over here. These might be daikon, or they might be just the white icicle. Here's my one successful graft that I did this year of a fig tree, and this is a Deanna Fig, and I grafted it down here. I bought this scion wood and I grafted it on there, so hopefully it makes it through the winter and it'll have some fruit on it for next year. I was planning to cut this whole fig tree that it's grafted onto down, because I really haven't got very many figs off of it ever. And then the one fig that did ripen perfectly this year tasted, I mean, it was super, super good. I have no idea what the variety of this is, but it was really good. So I think I'm just gonna chop it down a lot and give it another year. Just leave one stem going up, and hopefully I'll get some figs from it next year. There's some more Jerusalem artichokes over in this area too. My blackberries are sort of hard to get to. I got to go around the other edge of the garden to get there, but you can sort of see them over there. There's some white blooms there. Still have some blackberries that might mature before the end of the season here. Here's a jalapeno pepper. It's actually gotten red. If you let them go real long, they get these crinkles on them and they get red eventually, and they get really hotter the longer you leave them on too. So you can see up here some that are in the various stages of turning. There's a young one, it's green, then they start turning black, and then they turn red. I'll leave a video link up here to my last square foot video, and I will leave a link over here to a video that Google says you will like. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. We'll see you all again real soon.